Live. We are live with the Silk and Steel crew. We're excited this year on the 25th and the 26th. We are doing the Silk and Steel Conference. This is a conference where we're learning Shaolin combatives and healing techniques from various different methods, Wudong, etc. So we're really excited. We have one of our instructors who's going to be sharing at the conference, Grandmaster Marilyn Cooper, who's going to be sharing Tai Chi with us as well. And I'm going to ask her some few questions about her history and her past, and also what she's going to be sharing at the conference. So I'll let you take it away. So Marilyn, tell us about who you are, your history in the martial arts, and we'll start there.
Oh, that'll take way too long. Yeah, I've been in it for more than half a century. It's definitely an obsession. Um, being a kung fu teacher is the most fun thing on the planet. So we all know that. I don't know why it's so exciting to share this with others. And I like being the point of departure for other people because my Sifu's taught me a lot of stuff and I digested it and now I'm regurgitating it. And in this way, the classical mess progresses. It definitely there's progress is being made. So rather than just regurgitate exactly what I learned and rehash, it just is what you do, Sheldon, with what I've taught you. You delve into it more deeply and you personalize it, and it's reflects you, and then you pass it on to others that you feel you know um, deserve it and will benefit from it. They weed themselves out.
That's true. Kung Fu has a natural weeding process, as all
Yeah.
of us instructors have learned. So tell me, what are you going to be sharing at the conference? What is the main thing that you're going to be sharing with our group?
Well, I like that silk and steel juxtaposition. So the silky aspect of the form is the beautiful part, and the steely part is the application, how it works in fighting. So I would like to share the essence of Tai Chi, which is the grass sparrow's tail segment of the form. And I've been working on this with my advanced students a lot. So if you observe that Peng Lu Ji on that ward off, pull, press, and push section of every Tai Chi form has that. And of course, Peng or ward off is the most important part, but and every position has to have Peng Jin or that ward off force. So I mean, we'll get students to feel that, and then I'd like to work on, depending on the level of students and how much they can grasp, on how the form differs for aesthetic reasons, much like capoeira, in the sense that it's a beautiful dance to, it's like a presentation, it's a form from the actual content, and the positions differ when you use them in application, and how you might develop the most. And it's not as pretty or as fun to do, it's not as flowing, but it involves tremendous amounts of restraint. So I'd like students in my what do I have, a 1 hour
Hmm.
time slot? Hopefully they'll be able to partner up with each other and get a feel for what I'm talking about. I was working I'm about to leave for Europe to teach right after silk and steel. So I've been teaching this to my advanced students so they can keep working on this kind of stuff with the beginners while I'm gone. So it's on the tip of my tongue, and I mean, I might have a change of heart once I see who's in at the conference, and I'll get a feel for what's needed and respond to that.
And so from what I understand, you'll be sharing movements primarily that are in the 24, but you've had experience with multiple Tai Chi styles. I think at least two that I'm aware of. You've done Guan Ping Yang and the mainland 24. Can you tell us a little bit about the differences between those two Tai Chi sets?
Yeah. So Guanping is a transition between Chen and Yang, and it's very much prevailed here in the Bay Area. And a lot of people came up to learn it from Guo Ying, who was a pretty notorious character from the mid 20th century to 1984 when he died. And I was under him for 5 years in succession, but I didn't study the Tai Chi from him that much. I was a Shaolin kid, but I used to just copy the form from the elders, like a cool down. Like, boy, this makes you feel really good. It can't be good for you. You got to hurt all over, you know. Anyway, but then when I went under his top student from Taiwan, Peter Kwok, when I moved back to the East Coast, when I was presented with the Guanping form, it was in my body memory from having done it with the elders at a, formative during my formative years. And I learned it in two lessons, the 64. I like to call it the 64. It was named by Guanping Yang by YC Jiang, who died maybe about 10 years ago. And he, after Guo died in 84, the Wen Wu School became the primary resource for doing the Guanping, but he did the form differently than Guo, which caused Guo some consternation. So every Sifu does interpret this form differently. So that's another thing that the people in France that I'm going to be teaching, they do through Futong Cheng, who was YC Zhang's top student, they do that variant. So I'm going to be challenging them a lot with, why do you do this way? Show me how this works. And maybe they'll, the French tend to be very critical thinkers. So they might rethink the form and cobble together, insights from me as with Futong, and Futong. So who knows, the form is an ever evolving, progressive entity. I don't
I've
know.
noticed that
The
everyone
question.
has a different version, like
Oh,
even between teachers.
yeah. Well,
And
I
so
answer your question on which I really didn't get to the answer. So the 24 came much later. Guanping is a pretty primitive form. It's kind of like what you see is what you get. It's not obfuscated at all. You can literally do movements from it, and those are the applications. Um, but as Tai Chi progressed over the let's say over the decades and then over the centuries, it became more in line. It really progressed to encompass certain ideas of non-resistance, not using force, going with the flow, not using strength. And you see the epitome of that when you train with somebody like, well, he doesn't like me to mention his name because he doesn't want to get a bunch of guys trying to knock him down in the park all the time. But G, you know what I'm talking about. Or people
mm,
who do Wu style, it got softer and softer and softer. And so when you go to push with some of those people, and Lester is a good example of this, you feel like you're pushing into thin air. You can't find them, you can't find their center. It's a moving target, and they're holding the space. So that is that's the most advanced level. So you're seeing, the mainland 24 is getting emptier, is getting softer. And Chun style is the most firm, the one from Chun Village. And so that's how the forms have made a certain progress. So even when they talk about Guanbing, they say it encompasses hard and soft. And then you get up to the 24, and then it's just all soft and relaxed.
yeah, when Gus and I went to Chin Village, well, they took us to a Tai Chi museum. and they had like all the styles of Tai Chi
How cool.
listed. It was really cool to see that and to see the the different people who impacted Tai Chi and just the different styles. And Chin style is obviously very different. It feels very
But I
uh
bet they didn't have Guan Ping on that list, huh?
actually I think they did. I think I found it. I might have even taken a picture of it while I was
Yeah,
there.
send me that picture.
Yeah, I gotta find it. But yeah, I went around and I saw all these different styles like Jiao Bao and like really obscure Sun Lutang style and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff like that. Yeah, it's really really interesting. Tai Chi is a depth. One of the things that I notice about Tai Chi, because everybody has these different things, is it seems to be very important to focus on the principles as opposed to the variations, because if you understand the principle of like a concept, then it seems like it makes it translate easier. Do you agree with that, or
Oh,
do you find something different?
absolutely. And these basic precepts, how much you hold them dear to your heart. Like I like to be very simple and say to students when they first enter my class that there's three things: soft, slow, sink, or relax, slow, sink. So those, basic things are how you do the movement. And then that quote, I think G made it at your school when he was doing a workshop. He was talking about his Sifu, and
Hmm.
he knew he wasn't going to see his Sifu, who was very old, and he went and visited him. Was it Singapore? I think it was Singapore. But the last time he saw him, he knew he was really getting old, and he really felt in his heart he'd never see him again. And he said, "What are your parting words to me?" Do you remember this when he said?
Mm, I don't think so,
You
but
know what
you
I'm
can tell the
talking
story.
about.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, don't go against. Three
Mm.
words, don't go against.
Yeah,
So,
my teacher said never fight. He said it like that. He didn't mean not fight. He meant like
don't
like
resist.
don't resist. Use their energy and
You're
make it.
feeding your
Yeah,
partner so much information about your
yeah.
frame when
Hmm.
you present that firm frame. So, yeah. I mean, you have to be able to switch into that in a split second, but hopefully you can control that force. That's what's so important. Otherwise, you go around hurting people.
Yeah, awesome. And there's going to be some other Tai Chi concepts that are going to be there. I know that there's going to be some combative Tai Chi sessions at Silk and Steel. Sifu Ron and Sifu Gus are going to be sharing, as well as some China um, uh,
Well,
sessions as
I
well.
want to
So
be there the whole day because I want to do everybody's workshop, pick their brains. That's how you learn, and it's just fun. It's
yeah. It's gonna be a wealth of knowledge. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, everyone here is somebody that I've worked with personally. I've learned and gained a great deal of skill from pretty much everybody. I think there's only one person I haven't experienced their class, so it's going to be very new to me. But I'm excited as a practitioner for Silk and Steel. Excited to share, my knowledge too, but more excited as a practitioner, to be honest with you, to be
I
able to
have a
experience
very
this.
unique experience with one of your colleagues, and he was formerly a student of mine, Jonath, on Maui. I don't
Hmm.
know if you ever went off in the jungle with him and practiced that push hands thing he made up at they meet at that wisdom center, him and Josh and a few other guys.
No, we fought quite a few times. Like one time we were just like fighting over a stick. That was a lot of fun. It's just like
One
who could get to the weapon.
It takes so much self-discipline where you're doing spontaneous push hands, but you're never allowed to speed up. You are never allowed, and you think you have an opening, and it's so irresistible, and you get greedy to take that, and he stuck to it because and I later on I thought, yeah, I got him a bunch of times, and then later on I thought, oh yeah, but I broke the rule. He was better at that. That was really interesting. So students can take things to the next level. Seriously.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch. I think I would also say that you Gus and Ron, you probably can relate to this. You probably have done things a little different than what your teachers have, or maybe taken something and you just kind of expanded on it. Maybe you guys can share a story about something like that that maybe you've like expanded on what you've learned. Start with you,
Ron.
Gus, because you're smiling.
I think, yeah, I think that the key for me is how well can you maintain that center in the middle of chaos? You know, it's easy when it's easy, but when it's crazy, can you still maintain that calm on the inside and remain focused? And so that's kind of where we've focused a lot of our energies at the village, because like I said, it's always easy to say, well, it's good, but then when chaos hits, you go, so we don't want the practice to be non, you know, functional for us. And so when you present, you don't do it all the time, but when you present it, you see a difference. And then when you get used to doing it, you notice that there's a calmness that approaches you all the time because you're not easily triggered by things.
Mm, excellent. How about you, Ron? Any
It's pretty much the same. I mean, I think, Gus and I came from a school where much like religion, where one little push kind of ruins it. So, any kind of pressure, any kind of question, or really it's just the pressure. So I learned a lot from watching the teaching styles of my brother, about giving some, if your technique, your style, your whatever caves from just a little pressure, then either work on it some more, or find out what is fat and what is just lean meat. I'm hungry, sorry. So, but that's it, that's our main thing that I usually do, because I usually just hang around with Gus, because I don't have a school like you guys.
anymore? Because yeah,
No.
quite awesome school.
Yeah.
I've heard the stories. I've heard the
Yes.
stories.
But yeah, that's it. And we talked about the centering. The centering, to me, it's more like, a tornado. It's your center, and it's always moving around, and that's what I see Tai Chi in, Qina, something in any Kung Fu style. That's how it works. As long as you have the gravity, or the intense gravitational pull that you can handle everything, then great. And that little pressure is the first thing that we have to. I think that I'm always trying to ask a lot of new people on what they do, to see if what they're doing is practical or not.
Awesome. Cool. And Marilyn, you're here in the Bay Area, so people that are in the Bay Area, could practice, could come train Tai Chi with you as well. Um, what is your favorite thing to teach? Is it Tai Chi? Is it Kung Fu? Is it Qigong? Or is it just all of it?
I guess it's well, lately, I mean, I'd have to look at what I'm teaching a lot of, and lately, I would say lately being the past 10 years, it's I Chuan, standing meditation,
Mm,
and push hands.
mm.
I mean, teaching push hands because nobody gets hurt, and a gentle uproot is as far as we take it. We're not body slamming anybody onto mats. Uh, so I'll let you could do that part. I'll send them to you that are into that.
Yeah, we like to body slam people. But that's by Gus and Ron influence. They've been teaching me how to body slam, folks.
We don't body slam.
You guys try that on me. I'm looking forward to it.
All Ron. Ron is the bad influence here.
Yeah,
Bad
right.
monk.
No, yeah, right. You're a thrower.
No, I have video evidence.
Shut up.
I have
Shut
this
up.
awesome video of you doing the fireman's carry on the SOV. Oh
I don't
man,
know
and
what
it
you're
was
talking
it was
You
about.
like
mean
a
the
back.
fireman's? You mean the fireman's flip? What he?
Yeah, the fireman's flip. Yeah, and it was backwards. It was reversed. And I was just like, if the SOV wasn't so excellent at rolling and falling, that was good. That was going to be a mess. I would hate to see that happen to anybody in
Oh,
the
yeah.
street.
Well,
What's
there's
the
certain things you just don't do.
The SOV is the son of the village. You know how I'm the son of Shaolin? Like, so
oh,
he's the son of the village, but he's the SON and I'm the SUN.
oh, I see.
And now there's the OVs because there's another one. There's the DOV, the daughter of the village. So now they're called the OVs collectively.
Oh, I see.
And you'll meet the SOV when you come. Actually, you've seen him because he's on the show. He's the eye candy of the show, and he always,
That big
he
Chinese dude?
what's that?
The big Chinese dude?
No, no, no. He's the young guy who, they use a lot to show how the moves work. So
Okay.
he's gonna have the secrets of the system because he's felt it all.
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
I envy the SOV because he gets to have that every day. I have to come and get it when I can get it. but he's not here today. He's normally on with us, but he'll be at the at Silk and Steel. So if you want to get autographs with the SOV, sign up for Silk and Steel. He will be there.
He will
He
be
does
there.
take autographs. And if you want to give him some money, just cash at me for him, and I'll make sure he gets it. I promise he will get it. So yeah, so
I'm very, is
this
this
is
the guy? Are you telling a guy that wants you to body slam him? I'm not sure what
no. He's one of Gus's students. He's just an awesome
Okay.
guy, awesome student. Me and him have hung out a lot, gone to China together with Gus,
Oh,
practiced a lot with him. He's part of the King Kong Palm crew. So Luis Ramirez, awesome guy. So I can't wait to see him and all the other people in the crew. And can't wait to see you and all. I think this is the first time that we've all been together in the same room.
yeah.
Everybody knows who each other is, but this is the first
The
time we've all been getting
Sheldon
to be in the
party.
same room. Yeah, yeah. So all my favorite people. So yeah, so I'm that's why I'm excited about Silk and Steel is because all my favorite people are going to be here. All of my favorite people are going to be sharing, and so it's going to be a wealth of knowledge. Remember, mark your calendar, 25th and 26th. That's next weekend, not this
Yes.
upcoming weekend. Next weekend. So if you haven't
Weekend
signed
after the
up.
one that's coming. Right.
Yes. So if you haven't signed up, now is the time to do it. Pretty soon we'll be shutting down the signups, so you got to sign up now if you want to get in. Your level doesn't matter. You could come in at a basic level or no level at all. We are going to show you this will be a great way to start your practice and also to learn the basic things that you need to look for in a practice. If you're already in a practice, this will help you accelerate your knowledge and your understanding from the internal and the external martial arts. So it's going to be awesome event at the Oakland Asian Cultural Center in downtown Oakland. That's actually the place where my school started. The monks of the Shaolin Temple came there, and that's where they were teaching, and that's where I was training with them in the beginning. So it's a homecoming for us as well at Deep Root. So definitely sign up on kingkongpalm.com. That's the website, and you'll see it. It's right in front, Silk and Steel. Sign up now. So that's it, unless either one has some closing words that you want to share with
I'd
the
like to share that Sheldon is a little too modest. There were some Shaolin when I first moved back to the Bay Area. There were what was it, like 4 Shaolin monks? There was a little kid and there was a nonprofit. They were supporting these monks from China, and their mission was to open a Shaolin temple in Oakland. And they got supported by a group of Chinese business people. And then after a time, they started to withdraw support because they couldn't they couldn't rectify, they were Buddhists, and they couldn't rectify martial arts and Buddhism, which is, you know, it's a perpetual issue, as we all do Buddhist meditation and we practice martial arts too. So, but they weren't in it. They were just giving money. So the nonprofit still existed, but the monks split. They went hither, thither, and yon. And Sheldon took on that mantle on his broad shoulders on his own. And at first it was the Shaolin Lohan Institute, and now it's Deep Root, because he's become more inclusive. And I would just like to, you know, recognize him for having.
That's very cool. Very, very cool.
Thank you, Marilyn. I appreciate that. And, you know, for me, it's a labor of love. It's a passion for me to not only keep the martial traditions alive. You know, when Gus took me to Shaolin, I learned a term. I didn't know we were already doing this, but the term was Chan Wu Yi. And Chan is the meditation, Wu is the martial arts, and the Yi is the healing arts. And so Silk and Steel is also like a culmination of that concept as well. So we get to have the internal healing arts, and we get to have the martial arts as well. And there's always, mindfulness is just laced throughout what martial arts is about. So you'll get the whole thing. So again, come to Silk and Steel. You'll be supporting a great cause. This is a nonprofit effort, so definitely come and support this effort for not only community building, but preservation of this timeless information. So again, thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see you next week on our final live stream before Silk and Steel. If you haven't signed up, sign up today. All right.
All right.
See
Bye,
you then.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Can't wait to see you in person.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.